Hi guys, Demonick Angel here again today. And I am just going to keep going with the major arcana cards today. I'm using the Rider-Waite deck as always. And I'm just trying to give you some of my interpretations of the symbolisms in the card and some upright and reversed meanings. Once again, this is all kind of relative to the querent and your personal feelings of the reading and the other cards in the spread. So with that being said, let's get started with the Empress. And she is card number 3, and the reason that she is number 3 is 3 is a number of loyalty, abundance, bonding, a deep sense of bonding, and also indulgence. But indulgence in the card, the Empress here, is more along the lines of indulgence in moderation, is specifically sexual indulgence for procreation, and that's that type of energy to this whole card, which I happen to really like, the Empress. And so basically in the background it looks like it's about noon. It's a beautiful bright day, and that is, she has a spear in her, not a spear, looks like a wand with the bubble top, which is more of a feminine energy, symbolizing still her rule, but not her rule with intellect, but her rule with emotions and emotional balance, feminine influence, classic circle symbolism there. So it's the middle of the day, and that's because it's just this beautiful abundance. As you know, that the next card is the Emperor, so she's his counterpart here in the yin yang, and there's just a bunch of lush forest behind her, and a lot of times that's that connection here with, if you get this card, to go back out in nature, or that you have reconnected with nature, the healing power of course, stretching your legs, going outside for a walk, reconnecting with hiking, and healing through being outdoors, camping, those types of things that really are healing. And because we are part of nature, we as man are still part of nature, and we need sunshine, we need some outdoors time still to be complete, because we are still part of nature. The crown on the Empress's head has 12 points, and it's just kind of represents the 12 zodiac signs and her connection with the divine. A lot, like, I've seen it where people say it's like she's connected to mythical beings or fairies, and just the connection to the astral realm, the heavens, and symbolic, of course, of a crown, and her rule with the Emperor. She's his partner, so she also has some authority here. And of course, she is the next step to the High Priestess. She is the High Priestess, a little bit older. Whereas the High Priestess is kind of that rite of passage and menstruation type of symbolism. The Empress is the mother here. In some of the other decks, she is depicted as being pregnant, but she's very full-figured looking, whether she's pregnant or not. In the Rider-Waite deck, is kind of ultimately irrelevant, because it's just the symbolism in it. But she's got this motherly figure. She doesn't look like the, she's very mature looking. Her hips stand out, and she's got her full breasts, and the same time it looks like she's, to me, it looks like she's chilling in her slippers in a comfy nightgown type of look. Because if she's either pregnant or she just recently gave birth, and that's kind of the wheat in front of her, reaping what is sown, the cycles of life. And the pomegranates on her little nightgown dress here are, of course, the fruits of her fertility, and she is all of Mother Nature. She is the mother to 1,000 different things. Mother Nature in the form of humans. Mother Nature in the form of the harvest, the wheat. Mother Nature in the form of the forest is Mother Nature. It doesn't matter, as I said, what form, and also that realization here that we still need to be close to nature because we are part of it, and we can't ever not be part of it. But she's very relaxed, and she's got these orange and red pillows kind of cushioning her. She's sitting up very straight, very sure of herself, authoritative. And the red is kind of that classic example of, connection with sexual energy. Because right below her is the shield of Venus. Venus, of course, being what this card is all about. Motherhood, maturity, emotional intelligence, balance, feminine energy, the carrying of the production of one's own fruit coming to bear, and that healthy a healthy sexuality with the Emperor. She's an intuitive, receptive, okay? And of course, in front of her feet is a bunch of wheat, and that is that the symbolic of reaping what is sown, and that is for for better and for worse. That not everything that is done or that happens has an immediate or apparent karmic response. Sometimes it takes time for one's hard work to come to fruition. And then sometimes people do bad things, and it seems like there's no consequences or karmic ties. But sometimes it requires time for this to set in. And so that is the harvest. It's you plant your crops in the spring and harvest them in the fall. You don't do that and then right away. Kind of like pregnancy here. You have to wait 9 months to have a baby, to reap what is sown. And that is basically what this card is really all about. And also in the background behind her is the waterfall. And as we saw with the High Priestess and her connection with the water, this is emotions. This is feminine. Once again, it's just feminine, emotional, intuitive. And then, like to Buddhists, the waterfall is symbolic of permanent impermanence, or the ever-flowing emotional rule of water, and that everything, of course, has an emotional aspect to it. That I mean, obviously, people make their decisions largely based on emotions, whether you're a man or not, or a woman. It's ever changing. Emotions are receptive. You know, every day has a different feel than the next day, and that's just, you know, that's just how water is, and we're largely made of water. So really, that is this connection here. So I guess a good summary here of the Empress upright is that she really is, we could call her the mother. This is an energy possibly for your querent here that is looking to have a kid and, you know, got pregnancy, but it's also the fruits, more importantly, of one's creative endeavors. And specifically with this card, that your creative ideas, the things that are inside of you can be brought to harvest through a reconnection with nature, through a look at your emotions, a look at the balance here. And that, you know, in this card, this is a sign of somebody who has got that connection with this energy. So they're taking some time to reconnect with nature and emotionally understand things in a mature, handling them in a mature way, you know, obviously standing up to the emotional pressures of life, but not letting it crush oneself. She looks pretty sure of herself in this, in the card, and that's because she is. She's not crazy happy. She's not crazy sad. She just understands that this is the connections. And so, you know, like I said, a lot of times this can indicate motherhood, and that people are on the right track with their creative ideas, because it is that fertility is never just about having a baby. It's more about the fertility of oneself, of one's creative endeavors and their next steps in life, maturing. That all bears fruit, or the harvest. And another aspect to this card is when somebody is they're in a relationship, and it's not, obviously it's healthy sexuality. It's very deep bonding between two adults here. Like, it's sexuality with a great bonding, because that's what this whole motherhood aspect is. With that, the Empress basically likes sex, but with her partner in a bonding way. That's what the number 3 is all about. And specifically to sex for procreation purposes, and in a healthy, planned way, that because nothing will reconnect a person more with nature than, in a way, having children, or at least it should. So, you know, sex for procreation, that love that between two people that is so great that now they're going to have a child, the Empress and the Emperor. And that's what this is upright. So those are all signs that this is going well. The relationship is emotionally deep and not just sexual, but there is the sexual component is very much a part of it. That's why there's red in this card, and she's sitting on red cushions. And we've got Venus. This is a young woman connected with sex, which eventually bears fruit, which is kids. Reversed, though, for this card, in general, the symbolism here would be somebody who has kind of failed to launch, failed to mature, And they are, of course, just emotionally ruled, and so they get lost in other people's identities, you know, kind of like a woman, I guess, who is having a hard time growing up and you know, understanding her own identity. So she, you know, reverse this as giving one's identity or opinions away, you know, just to absorb another person's identity, meaning, you know, trying to get in a relationship, which happens to a lot of ladies, lots of guys too, lots of emotional people. And hey, whatever you like, I like this kind of music because you do. I like this and I think this because this is just what you like. So just losing oneself in this other person or idea. It can have, of course, implications of, you know, infertility. That this, you know, although the bonding relationship is going well, the fertility timing is not right. This card is not saying that of course is not going to happen. It's just, hey, this isn't the right time for this querent to be planning to have a kid. Maybe because it's not the right person, and once again, at least for me, I'm going to take the other cards around this into consideration. But basically, yeah, you know, a lot of the reversal of this is just a real lack of maturity, because on the flip side of somebody who is mature, who can understand their emotions and have that, you know, emotions bring a softness and a healing if used properly. And that's that kind of feminine motherhood stereotypical emotions. This is like using one's, also using one's sexuality to try to make somebody stay in a relationship they don't want to be in, or like even people saying that they are, you know, trying to get or getting pregnant to try to save a relationship or make it happen. And that is obviously disastrous as well. And of course, even reversed, we still have the wheat reaping what is sown. So, you know, if you don't have this emotional balance and maturity that the Empress brings here, and this is reversed, you are reaping what is sown from your bad attempts to have relationships by dumping your emotions on people, absorbing their identities, trying to fix them. Lots of that is along those lines. And so, you know, it really is kind of just the flip side of somebody who is emotionally mature and nurturing, like a mother. You think of, in the Western world, all those things you stereotypically think of in a positive way. That's what this represents. Okay, guys. Well, I think that pretty much covers the Empress for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know what I would like to do next is obviously do like the Emperor card, and then I was talking about residual energy with somebody lately, and like, what is it? Is it conscious? I thought that would be a good one, and I also know I've got to do my Buddhist video soon, so I got a lot of topics to cover here, and we'll keep rolling right along. Please check out my Patreon in the link below, because I don't monetize here on YouTube. You know, occultism is not very algorithm friendly. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all again in the next video.